Most chatbots can answer general questions, but I wanted one that can answer questions about me, my background, my experience, and my projects using real information. So I built an AI chatbot for my portfolio using just n8n, Supabase, OpenAI, and Claude. And the coolest part? It updates itself automatically every time I publish new content. When someone visits your portfolio, they usually have one specific question. Instead of scrolling forever, I want them to simply ask, tell me about your previous projects. What's your experience with AI? Tell me about your YouTube channel, or just go ahead and ask their own question. They would get an accurate answer instantly, and it's grounded in real information. So to teach the chatbot who I am, I gathered 3 things: my portfolio page, my resume, as well as my LinkedIn profile. Claude helped me clean and structure all of the text. Then the system broke it down into smaller pieces called chunks. So what we're looking at now is Supabase. Each chunk gets converted into what I call a meaning fingerprint, technically an embedding. OpenAI turns every chunk into a list of 1,536 numbers that represent what the text means. The user's question also becomes a meaning fingerprint. The system compares these fingerprints, and if they're similar, the meanings are similar. And that's how the chatbot understands your question, even if you phrase it differently. Here's what happens behind the scenes every time someone uses a chatbot on my portfolio. WordPress sends the user's question to n8n through a webhook. n8n sends the question to OpenAI to create an embedding, basically a meaning fingerprint of what the user is asking. That fingerprint gets sent to Supabase, which performs a semantic search and returns the top 100 chunks from my resume, LinkedIn, and portfolio that are most similar in meaning. n8n bundles those retrieved chunks into clean context that the model can consume. That context is then returned back to WordPress, which calls OpenAI GPT-4 to generate the final answer grounded in those chunks, and sends the response to the chatbot. All this takes about 3 to 5 seconds and ensures the chatbot only answers real information pulled from Supabase, not guesses. Here's where all of my knowledge actually lives: Supabase. Every chunk from my resume, LinkedIn, and portfolio is stored here, along with its embeddings. When someone asks a question, Supabase performs a semantic search, meaning it finds chunks based on meaning, not just keywords. This is what makes Retrieval-Augmented Generation different than a normal chatbot. The second workflow handles everything behind the scenes. Whenever I publish a new page or blog post in WordPress, WordPress sends the new content to n8n. n8n extracts the raw text and splits it into 500 character chunks. It stores those chunks in Supabase with empty embeddings. Then it grabs every chunk missing embeddings and generates them in batch. Finally, it updates the embeddings in Supabase. And if anything gets missed, the workflow also runs every hour to backfill any missing embeddings, which means my chatbot stays up to date automatically. I don't touch anything. Every time I test it, it pulls the right chunks, stays grounded in facts, and answers accurately. Here we can see that it knows I love to train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I like to snowboard, and I also run a food discovery page on Instagram. I also DJ on the side. I didn't want a chatbot that guesses. I wanted something that retrieves facts first and then answers. This is the same pattern used in production RAG systems, just scaled to run on my personal portfolio. If you want to try it yourself, go to kelwoo.com. And if you want me to release these workflows as a template, you can clone into n8n. Just let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next build.